I sat in that courtroom with my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Across the room, Lauren looked at me with a cold smile like she had already won. This was the woman I once loved more than anything. The woman I built a life with. Now she was trying to take everything from me. My money, my reputation, my son. But she had no idea I had been preparing for this moment for 18 months. Before we dive into this story, let me know in the comments where you are watching from today. If you have ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, completely hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Stay with me until the end because what happened in that courtroom changed everything. I met Lauren during my junior year at the University of Texas in Austin. It was a random Tuesday morning in microeconomics class. I walked in late, and the only empty seat was next to this girl with bright eyes and an easy smile. She leaned over and asked if she could borrow a pen. I handed her my favorite blue one, and she never gave it back. That was Lauren. She had this way of taking things and making you feel like you wanted to give them to her. We started talking after class, then grabbing coffee, then spending every free moment together. She was studying marketing, full of energy and big dreams about building brands and changing how people saw the world. I was the quiet one, buried in code and algorithms, trying to figure out how to make computers do what I wanted. We balanced each other perfectly, or at least that is what I believed. We graduated the same year. I landed a job at a growing tech company in Austin, and Lauren joined a small marketing agency downtown. 2 years later, I proposed on the hiking trail at Mount Bonnell overlooking the Colorado River at sunset. She said yes before I even finished asking. Our wedding was small, just 50 people in my parents' backyard. My mom cried. Lauren's dad gave a speech about how lucky I was. Everyone said we were the perfect couple. We bought our first house in a quiet neighborhood in Cedar Park, about 20 minutes north of Austin. 3 bedrooms, a big backyard, and a kitchen that Lauren said she would learn to cook in. She never really did, but I did not mind. I learned to make her favorite meals instead. Those first years were everything I had dreamed about. Coming home to someone who was happy to see me, planning vacations together, talking about the future like it was something we owned. When Lauren told me she was pregnant, I pulled over on the side of the road because I could not drive straight. Ethan was born on a rainy Thursday in March, and the moment the nurse placed him in my arms, I understood what people meant when they said their whole world changed in an instant. He was so small with these tiny fingers that wrapped around my thumb like he was holding on for dear life. I promised him right there that I would always protect him. My career kept climbing. I got promoted to senior engineer, then lead engineer. The money was good, and Lauren suggested she stay home with Ethan instead of paying for daycare. I agreed without hesitation. I wanted Ethan to have his mom around. I wanted Lauren to have the choice my mom never had. Every evening I came home to dinner on the table, and my son running to the door yelling, "Daddy!" On weekends we went to the park, fed ducks by the lake, read picture books until Ethan fell asleep between us. Life was exactly what I had always wanted. Then Ethan turned 3 and Lauren said she was bored. She missed working, missed having her own identity outside of being a mom. I understood. I encouraged her to find something that made her happy. She got hired at a bigger marketing firm, one of those agencies with a fancy office downtown and clients that included major brands. I was proud of her. She seemed alive again, talking about campaigns and strategies and office dynamics. I thought we were entering a new chapter together. The changes came slowly at first. Lauren started working late, sometimes not getting home until after 9. She said it was client meetings, deadlines, the pressure of proving herself in a new job. I picked up Ethan from daycare, made dinner, handled bath time and bedtime stories. I did not complain. Marriage is about supporting each other through busy seasons. That is what I told myself. But then I noticed other things. Lauren bought new clothes, nicer than what she usually wore. She started going to the gym before work, something she had never cared about before. Her phone was always face down on the table, and one day when I picked it up to hand it to her, she snatched it away like I had tried to steal something. When I asked why, she accused me of not trusting her. She said I was being paranoid and controlling. I apologized. I actually apologized for noticing that something was wrong. Months passed, and the distance between us grew. We stopped talking about anything real. Conversations became logistics. Who was picking up Ethan? What bills needed to be paid? Whether we needed more milk. At night, she turned away from me in bed, always too tired, always with an early meeting. I told myself it was just stress. I told myself every marriage goes through rough patches. I told myself a lot of things that were not true. The truth found me on a random Wednesday night. Lauren was supposed to be at a conference in Dallas, a 2-day thing for work. Ethan wanted to watch his favorite cartoon before bed, and I could not find the remote. I grabbed Lauren's iPad from the kitchen counter thinking I would pull up the streaming app. That is when I saw the messages. Her iMessage was synced to the iPad and a conversation was open on the screen. The name at the top was Marcus. The words I read made my stomach turn inside out. They were not just flirting, they were planning. Planning trips, planning a future, planning how to handle me. I scrolled up through hundreds of messages, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the device. Lauren called me boring. She said I was predictable and easy to manipulate. She told Marcus she only stayed with me because of the house and the financial security. She laughed about how I had no idea what was happening right under my nose. Marcus called me a fool, and Lauren agreed. There were photos I wish I had never seen. Details about hotel rooms and weekend getaways when she told me she was visiting her sister. Everything I believed about my marriage crumbled in my hands like wet paper. I sat on the kitchen floor for I do not know how long reading message after message, each one cutting deeper than the last. When I finally stopped, I did the only thing I could think of. I took screenshots of everything, hundreds of them. I emailed them to a new account Lauren did not know about. Then I cleared the history on the iPad and put it back exactly where I found it. That night I went to Ethan's room and watched him sleep, his chest rising and falling, completely unaware that his family was about to shatter. I cried silently until the sun came up. Lauren came home 2 days later, full of stories about the conference and how exhausting it had been. She kissed my cheek like nothing was wrong. I looked at her and saw a stranger wearing my wife face. I waited 3 more days before I confronted her. I needed to make sure I was calm. I needed to make sure I would not lose control. When I showed her the screenshots, she denied everything at first. Then, when she realized I had proof, she changed tactics. She cried and said she was sorry, that it was a mistake, that Marcus meant nothing. But I had read the messages. I knew she was lying, so I pushed harder and finally she dropped the act. She blamed me. She said I worked too much. She said I did not pay attention to her needs. She said Marcus made her feel alive in ways I never could. I listened to her twist everything around until I was somehow the villain in a story where she was the one who cheated. When I told her I wanted a divorce, her tears dried up instantly. She said fine. Then she told me she wanted the house, full custody of Ethan, and enough alimony to maintain her lifestyle. She said if I did not agree, she would make the divorce as painful as possible. I called my friend Kevin that night. We had worked together for years, and he had gone through his own divorce a while back. He gave me the name of his lawyer, a guy named Daniel, who specialized in family law. Daniel was direct and honest from the first meeting. He told me to keep my head down, document everything, and prepare for a fight. I did exactly that. The divorce took 8 months. Lauren fought over every piece of furniture, every bank account, every minute of custody time. She tried to paint me as an absent father who cared more about work than family. But I had records, school pickup logs that showed I was there almost every day, photos from every birthday party, every soccer game, every doctor appointment. The judge saw through her lies, at least partially. In the end, I kept the house but had to buy out Lauren's share. We split custody, with Ethan staying with me most of the time and visiting Lauren on weekends. She got some alimony, less than she wanted. I thought it was over. I thought I could finally start healing. 6 months later, I got served with papers at my office. Lauren was suing me. She claimed I had hidden assets during the divorce, that I had lied about my income and investments. She wanted the settlement reopened and recalculated. But that was not the worst part. The papers also included an accusation of domestic violence. She claimed I had physically abused her during our marriage. She had medical records showing bruises. She was asking for full custody of Ethan and a restraining order against me. I read those papers 3 times because I could not believe what I was seeing. I had never laid a hand on Lauren. I had never even raised my voice in anger around Ethan.